So today, I have something really exciting to show you that took many days of thinking and head scratching and brain power. This hurt my brain a lot. It is the NumBot. Now, what is NumBot exactly? Now, you probably saw in the title that it is a basic neural network, but what does that even mean? What does this thing have to do with anything? Well, we have a 5x5 grid of glass over here. We have a 7-segment display, so this is our input. Oh my god, I put something in the machine. Hold on. Okay, so this is our input, that's our output, and this is our drawing mode indicator, and we also have a button. So I got this idea from a Vsauce episode on Minefield, where he basically made this exact same thing but with people. And basically what this machine does is you can draw a number from 1 to 9 onto this 5x5 grid. You push the button, you send the signals, and this will try to guess what number you've drawn. So let's just start looking at what this can do. So first number we're going to do is a 2. So we're just going to put a 2 perfectly in the center, so it should be easy for our NumBot to figure out what it is. So we just have a 2, that looks like a 2. We push the button, and now NumBot will calculate and use its big brain to figure out what it is. And when we hear the note block noise, that means NumBot has confirmed its answer as a 2. So there we go, we have a 2. Now let's push the button again and try something different. So we're going to still do a 2, but this time we are going to move it to the side. So we'll just go like that and do something along the lines of this. Okay, yeah, that works. And then boom, boom. So now we have another 2. So we have a 2, but this time it is off to the side. So let's see if NumBot can figure out that it is the same thing. And we just wait a little bit. And there we go, NumBot has confirmed that it is a 2. So boom, it guessed twice. But what if we make a really weird looking 2? If it still looks like a 2 to humans, then it should still look like a 2 to NumBot. So if we just hit this button again so we can go into drawing mode, and we, let's see, we change this up. So we'll go 4 over here, and we'll go like that, and then we'll add a little tail at the end. So that still looks like relatively a 2 for humans. If I were to ask someone what number it is, actually they'd probably guess like the letter B or something. But if I tell them that it is a 2 with a little tail, then they'll recognize that it's a 2 with a little tail. So push this button, and now NumBot will see what number this is. Let's see if it can guess. And finally, there we go. It is a 2. It is still a 2. So push the button again and go into drawing mode once again. So now let's do a different number, because I said this can go from 1 to 9, and so far I've only shown 2s. So let's just put this all back over here. And let's do a 4. Let's do a 4, why not? So here we go. We have a 4 like that. So that looks like a 4, but it is off to the side. So let's see if NumBot can figure out what it is. So it is going to calculate the 4. Oh boy, what's it gonna think? Oh, and it figured out that it was a 4. Now it can only detect 4s like this. It can't detect the 4 where you make like the little triangle, only like this kind of 4. And that's the only 4 that it can output. So yeah, that kind of makes sense. So let's go back into drawing mode and try a 9, because 9 you can also write in 2 ways. You can write 9 with a little thing on the bottom, or just the stick going straight down. So if we just turn this 4, remove this block, and it should be a 9. We just removed 1 block, and the machine will now think that is a completely different number. So that looks like a 9 to a human. So let's see if NumBot can guess a 9. So we'll just wait, and eventually we'll get a 9. We'll get an answer. This one takes the longest for reasons I'll explain later. So here we go. We have a 9, but it outputs it with the little thing on the bottom because I like it better that way. And it's less work because you only have to remove 1 segment instead of 2. So let's push the button again, and we'll try a 9, but this time we'll put the thing on the bottom. And you know what? We'll make it look really weird too. So let's just expand this circly bit over here and make the little tiny bit short. This looks like a grade 2 person second grade would do. I don't know. Yeah, so we have a really messy looking 9. Kindergarten teachers can agree that it's hard to read kindergarten writing, but can NumBot read kindergarten writing? Yes, it can. It has detected a 9. So, push the button again, and then it will turn off again. So, yeah. Let's see, how long has it been already? It's been like 5 minutes. Okay, I think we have enough NumBot demonstration. Now, you probably want to figure out how this thing works. So, I'll just cover this all here. And if we just look at the redstone, it is huge. Look at all this redstone. It's so big, very confusing. But don't worry, I'll try my best to explain it. And I also forgot to credit someone at the beginning. So while I was looking for designs online to see if this has been done, I came across a person named eroths who tried to make a version of this neural network, but with a 10 by 10 grid, and obviously that is a lot harder, so hopefully me explaining how my system works might help him complete his system. So I'll link his videos in the description. He made like 4 videos talking about his development in the neural network. I think they're pretty cool. You should check him out. Like I said, link in the description. So first thing we have this block thing, this 100 dense boy. We have this observers going into these pistons, and this is the only part with observers. Actually, the rest of this, never mind, I lied, there's a little bit of observers, but still, now most of the observers are here. The rest of this is just repeaters, pistons, and just signals going everywhere. So basically what this is just the inputs. So we have blue, green, yellow, orange, and red, and the reason I have the colors is just a lot easier for testing. So we just have observers going here to detect when you break a block. I'm not going to explain exactly how these things are routed, but yeah, they just go to a corresponding piston. So if we just punch a block here, as you can see, this does take a while, this block will activate. So this is the bottom left corner, and that is also the bottom left corner. So we do yellow and in the center, that's yellow and in the center, and we'll do red in the top right. So there we go, we have little like 3 points, so you can get a reference of how this thing works. And we get this red over here. Now let's say we did orange like over here, this block, this second block would be pushed, and then if we activated green on that 4th block near the blue corner, then this block will activate. So let's just put those back and actually write a number, because it's not going to detect anything in that, like not even a 1. I don't know what it would detect with just 3 dots. Probably like this thing will stay blank and be really confused. So yep, that is the easiest part, the input. But now we have the actual stuff, like this giant thing. So let's try to do a number that has quite a bit of parts. So let's do a 2. So we'll do a 2 in the center first. So we go over here. So this is what a 2 looks like to the machine. This is what it sees. This is what it perceives as a 2. So we have the middle 3 blocks of red, yellow, and blue displayed on the drawing. So here are the middle 3 blocks for blue. There's yellow. There's red. And then we have this block. Okay, no, we have this block, this 1 orange block missing, and this 1 green block missing, and that is what we have here and there. So then we have our input, which is just this button. And all it does, really easy, it just sends a pulse through these observers, and it will activate whatever pistons has a block behind them. So this will not activate this piston since there is no block over here. So we just have a bunch of cauldrons over here. And the inputs for the circuit are all of these 25 comparators. We have 25 inputs to turn into 1 of 9 outputs. So yeah, that is quite of a process. So the first thing we have to do is detect the lines. So how we detect lines is this purple circuit will detect vertical lines, and how we do those lines is we used AND gates. So let's see, yellow, green, and blue. So here's 1 yellow, here's 1 green, and here is 1 blue. Now those will go into these pistons, and so this is really hard to navigate, but yeah, basically it will get, oh my, this is hard to explain. Basically this line will correspond to one of these purple outputs over here, and we have a bunch of purple outputs over there for vertical lines. And then we have the horizontal ones, which is the blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. That corresponds to each row, so this is actually probably the easier part. So if we just go to our red, and we have like 3 AND gates and 1 over here. So this is our AND gate, so I'll just like indicate. So these are the 3 comparators that will be activated, and that will activate these 3 pistons. So once these 3 pistons are down, and obviously here's one for vertical line step, but you get the idea. This torch will turn on because all of these pistons have been activated, and that will send a signal over here into this red line. And we also have our 25, well, not 25, we just have all of our horizontal lines over here. We have 15 horizontal lines. So how do we know what lines are which? But I put signs over here that say close to button, away from button, or the middle. So if we go back to our display through this spaghetti wiring, as you can see, this horizontal line is perfectly in the middle. So this is middle. Away from button means it is farther away from the button. Farther away from the button. So it is over here. And then close to button means that the line is over here, closer to the button. And you might notice these purple lines, and that was kind of for reference. I did have like purple bars over here for testing and building this thing. So those are lines. Let's see, the next thing we got is angles, which is this pink circuit over here. Now this system only detects angles that go through this yellow line over here. So I made a grid that basically shows what it sees when you type in any number. So if you type in a 2, any 2 that you put in looks roughly like this. So it might be a bit expanded or a bit like smaller, but all 2s look like this kind of. All 1s look like that. This is what a 3 looks like. A 4 looks exactly like a 4 because all the angles go through this middle section. 5 is just a backwards 2. A 6 is a lowercase h. A 7 is just any angle. That I just got really lazy for 7. It's just any angle on the board. It can even be backwards and you'll still see a 7. 8 is a capital H because those are the angles that we see. And then 9 is basically a 9. But with this, you may realize, why is there a block here that does not go through the middle? Well, if we didn't have that block there, it'd be exactly the same as a 4, so I did have to add an extra part for the 9 to activate the 9. Wait, hold on, that's for way later. But yeah, these are just the angles. I'm getting way too ahead of myself. So, those angles, these pink circuits, will then go into this gray circuit, and this gray circuit basically detects shapes. So most of these are angles, but some of these are shapes, as in like this one is a shape. So it will get a combination of angles and put them through another series of a bunch of AND gates, and it will get one of these 9 shapes over here corresponding to each number. You also may notice that they are different colors, and this is what that means. So let's say 1. There is the least amount of features in a 1, only a straight line, so everything here overrides it. The next thing is 7. 7 is like the next strongest, I guess you could say. From 1, it only has 1 angle, so it only has 1 input. 1 technically has like 0 inputs, but 7 has 1 input. And then next thing we have is 2, 3, and 5. So 2, 3, and 5 will override 7 and 1. And then the next thing, we have 3 inputs, which is 4 and 6. As you can see, there's 3 angles. There's 1 going like that, 1 going like this, and then 1 going downwards. So 4 and 6 is just like the same thing but flipped. So yeah, 4 and 6 will override the yellows, the greens, and the blues. And then the next thing after that is 9, where it has 4 parts. So it's just the same thing as a 4, but we have that extra 4th part for this top line, which is basically an OR gate with all of the red. So all of this red will go through this repeater, and this will go through this thing over here into the 9 outputs. So if it detects a line, so a line going across the top, which is a line going through this red section, then it will activate a 9, but that's a 2, so we'll get to that. we'll do that later. So yeah, we have basically kind of like an override system. It prioritizes certain numbers over others. Oh wait, I forgot 8. 8 has the most parts, so it overrides every single number. So how do we control what gets overwritten and what doesn't? So we have this system here, which was, let's see, they're not online, but it was made by Mark F. And basically what it is kind of like a signal strength, like, detector thing. So we just have a version over here. Basically it will take the strongest signal strength and that's what it will output. So let's say we got a signal strength over here. It's like the weakest because it's the farthest away from the system. And let's say we have another one. If we have the same signal strength, they will both activate. But let's say we have one that's stronger, like that. Those two completely overwritten. And then we have one that's even stronger, and then that one will also get overwritten. But if this turns off, that will turn back on, and those will turn on but then turn off. We turn off that, those two will turn on, and then finally we'll just deactivate those. So it's a really cool circuit. I don't really know how it works, but I don't know, it's a really cool, and it's also expandable, so that's cool. Maybe I'll do a tutorial on that, I don't know. It's kind of like a really niche circuit. So if we just push the button, that's basically all the systems explained except for the last part, but you kind of need to see the last part. So the 2 will activate. Actually, I should have probably followed the circuit, but yeah, okay. So as you can see, these things have fired, and these cauldrons, some of them have went up and some of them went down. This is part of the vertical line and gate thing. So how many vertical lines do we have here? We have 1 and 2 vertical lines. So we should have 2 vertical line outputs going through here. So that is 1 vertical line, and that is 2 vertical lines. And we have 3 horizontal line outputs, so 1, 2, and 3, through red, yellow, and blue. So if we just go over here, we have 1 blue output over there, and we also, okay, you know what, I need to fix this. There we go. That was very necessary to, yeah, that was probably very necessary. That's for 7s, but yeah. So this one, yeah, so this one is the one that's activated, but it also activates these two because I put the repeater there. And then we have our 1 yellow line and our red lines, but like I said, it is part of the OR gate, so this is the red line over here because this is deactivated, that's deactivated, that's the red line that is activated. Look, it's me, famous. Is that famous YouTuber? Me? Yeah, that's me. Okay. Anyways, so now we have the angles that go through the yellow circuit. As you can see, none of these go through the pink circuit, only the yellow lines do. So we should have 2 angles. So these colored lights should indicate angles. So we have a blue light over here, and blue lights, I think, are this top angle over here. So that is what I think blue light is. And then we should have another light over here that is our second angle, somewhere over here. Yeah, there it is. So that, yeah, that's the green light, that's the bottom angle. So it detects 1 angle and then 2 angles. And then that finally goes through into 1 final AND gate, and we get an output of a 2. This piston will push down, and we have our signal strength, like I said, for that. So 1 has the weakest signal strength, and 8 has the strongest signal strength. So this is a signal strength of, I think, 3, and that will go through here. This is the only output that is activated, and it will go through this decoder system over here, same as basically every 7-segment display. It will push up a column of redstone blocks, and those redstone blocks will go all the way over there to their corresponding segments. And if we don't want a segment to activate, we put a repeater, and if we want it to activate, we put a piece of dust. Okay, finally, our last circuit here is the white circuit, which is just basically still part of the decoder, but it also is our, like, note block indication thing. So basically, as you remember, this isn't like perfectly instant. It will like flicker on and off. So when this gets activated, all of these are like chain butted pistons. This piston will also get activated, go over here, and after a lot of delay, it will give it enough time to like flicker on and off, so then eventually only 1 output is activated. And then this will activate all the pistons and push all the columns that aren't this one over here downwards. This one won't get pushed downwards because pistons cannot push extended pistons. So yeah, this is the only one that just gets stuck. Oh my god, yep, that is everything you need to know about NumBot. This video is like in like 2, 1. There we go. It's 20 minutes. This is a 20-minute long video explaining this super difficult neural network thing. But yeah, if you want to play with it, it is on Synergy. Oh wait, hold on. Wait, last thing I didn't explain. Actually, I don't know. I probably forgot. Yeah, indicator light is just this T flip-flop that's hooked up to these inputs. Yeah, very important. That's the most important thing. Now, probably last thing I should mention is that each number is detected differently. So that was just the example of the 2. But for the 8, it's kind of the same thing, but with just more angles. And the 7 is just any. So this is basically a giant OR gate with any horizontal line will go over here. So that torch will turn off, that torch will turn off. So there is an angle, but it, like I said, gets overwritten by this circuit with the signal strength. And any vertical line will go through this torch. So if there's a horizontal line and a vertical line, this torch will activate and go through over here. So that's just specifically for 7s. But yeah. Also, I should probably explain why I can't detect 0. So, this is why I can't detect zeros, because, let's see, we push this. I'll just let this do its thing and turn off. Hope that doesn't break. Okay, there we go. And we just put all these blocks back like that. Also, if you're wondering how the note block works, from though that signal just travels to this pulse extender, it just waits a long time, and then those things get activated as soon as it gets like confirmed. Just specific timings for note blocks. So reasons I cannot do a 0, because 0 you can draw it in many more ways than any of the other numbers. You could draw a 0 like all the way around here. I mean, the way that I could detect it is detecting 4 angles, but I didn't design the system that way. I only detected it if it went through the yellow line. So basically the only way that I would be able to detect a 0, but I just didn't put that in, is if it was made like this, or just made like that, or you know, off to the side, but it has to be this big. If I made a 0 normally, this is how you'd normally make a 0 on a 7-second display. There's no angles going through this yellow line, and it will just detect like a 7 because that's the only angle it sees. This is what it will see instead of a 0. So yeah, that is why I cannot make zeros, which it kind of seems weird, but yeah. Hope you enjoy this really long explanation on how the spaghetti voodoo magic works. I don't know how much of you actually watched through the entire thing, but yeah, hope you enjoyed. If you want more giant logic projects like these, tell me what I should make. You know what, let's just like finish the video with the entire thing in view. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Goodbye. Also, welcome new French people. Welcome to my channel. I speak English, not French. Okay, doesn't matter. What's goodbye in French? Right. Au revoir.